time for Valentine's Day. It's less than a week away,
It's Thursday.
Right. Yeah, so that's why Lori Renn is here. And Lori, you're often making cupcakes. We've seen you make your cupcakes that are perfect for various occasions and holidays and stuff. This time, though, we're going out with the all-out meal because sometimes you may want to have a romantic dinner with your special someone. Maybe you don't want to go out, though.
Well, right. I agree with that. Not going out on Valentine's Day is really nice.
Yeah, the restaurants are really crowded, and you really don't have to put a whole lot of effort into it to make something fabulous. Fondue is one of those meals that's really simple. It's so flavorful, and there's so many different variations and things you can do with it. I'm going to start the fondue. This is an electric fondue pot, but if you don't have one of these, you want to just start your fondue on the stove top, and then you can transfer it to one of these fondue pots with the candles or sterno underneath it.
So you can actually just make it on the stove top.
Yeah.
Just got to have the heat source to keep it from solidifying.
We're going to start off with some crisp, dry white wine. You want to use something that's unoaked, like a Chardonnay wouldn't really work with this, but this is a Sauvignon Blanc, so we're going to heat that up.
Can't go wrong with that.
I'm going to drop 1 clove of garlic in there. Get that heated up, and we're going to just kind of flavor that wine right there with the garlic. We'll let that sit in there.
And it's just a clove, like you didn't.
Just one clove. Yeah, you don't want the garlic to really overpower the whole flavor.
Can you chop it or anything, or should you just put the whole one in there?
I like to just put the whole one in there because then I just take it out.
Because it's not going to be part of the actual fondue.
It's not going to be. Fondue is really good when it's nice and smooth and creamy. And some people might want to chop up onions, garlic, shallots, that kind of stuff. But I like it really smooth. So this is going to get nice and hot. And then as soon as it does, we're going to take 8 ounces of Emmentaler cheese. That's a Swiss cheese.
Say that cheese again.
Emmentaler.
Emmentaler. I haven't even heard of that one. I'm not familiar.
Yeah, it's a Swiss cheese, and it's imported from Switzerland.
Yep, I've seen it.
If you use, and we're going to use 8 ounces of that and 8 ounces of the Gruyere. And if you use a regular Swiss cheese from the deli, then you're more likely to have it, get stringy. And so go for the good cheese on this one.
Because you want it to be the creamy and basically liquidy.
Right.
I mean, a thick liquid.
And this just melts better, I would
Yeah, this just melts better. So we are just going to get this all melted up here, and then you have your various foods for dipping. I got some fingerling potatoes. Those are from Southwind Farms out here, just right here in Idaho, and they're delicious. I roasted them up with some garlic and olive oil and Parmesan cheese, and it only takes about 20-25 minutes roasting them in the oven at high heat at about 425. I put a recipe on my blog, mywickedwhisk.com, that you can check that out, and you could blanch some vegetables like broccoli. Apples are surprisingly really good in cheese.
They really are.
That sweet salty mix is good.
Salty, and then we've got the bread, and if you don't have an electric pot, like I said before, you transfer it to a pot. Right? It's so romantic to just the two of you. I like fondue for just two. When you're at a party and you have a lot of people, it's kind of like,
How many germs are getting in that pot?
So is it really? So really, it's just the wine and the cheese.
And then as soon as this gets all melted, which
it's working on,
then you're just going to add a little bit of flavorings. We're going to do a ½ teaspoon of dry mustard. We're going to have some fresh ground nutmeg because I love the flavor of nutmeg with cheese, especially this nutty Swiss cheese. It's delicious. And then just a couple of cracks of fresh black pepper.
And that's it.
And that's it. And then you just
wait for it to get to the consistency.
Yeah, you just get it nice and creamy and melty, and then dig right in.
And Lori's been teaching us about the dinner part of fondue, but she's coming back in a little bit to talk about the dessert fondue.
Yeah, we'll see how this one turned out. Of course, it needs just a few minutes to melt, so thanks so much for showing us. Romantic dinner for two, easy at home. Thanks so much, Lori.
Lori Renn is joining us again for the dessert portion of what to do for your sweetheart on Valentine's Day. It's all about chocolate fondue now.
Right. If you thought the cheese fondue was easy to make, this is even easier. All I did was take 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, get that nice and hot, and then you want to take your favorite chocolate. I mean, if you like dark, put dark in. If you like milk, put milk in. This is you can chop it up really fine, and it's about 8 ounces, which equals about a cup. I'm using the Ghirardelli semi-sweet, but you can use Dove chocolate, milk chocolate. And then
I love the dark chocolate.
Oh, I know, I do too. It's so delicious. And what isn't more delicious? So it melts right away. As you can see, it just starts getting all melty and thick. And the only thing I'm going to add is about a teaspoon of vanilla extract.
And that's it?
That's it. If you like flavorings in it, you can add liqueurs, you can add, like amaretto or Grand Marnier or whatever. You can even add a little bit of espresso or a red wine or anything. That's all you have to do. You need to stir that up and get it nice and thick.
Okay.
And then if you're doing this on a stovetop, you want to transfer it to like one of these little, this is a nice little fondue pot for 2 that has a candle underneath it that
So keep it warm so it doesn't...
Keeps it nice and warm at the table.
Okay.
And then, you know, the world is your oyster, whatever you want to dip in it. We've got marshmallows, we've got strawberries, bananas. I love the salty sweet combination.
Me
So
too.
these little wavy lays are so delicious
Potato
in
chips
chocolate.
and chocolate, if you've never tried it,
Yes,
it's so good.
It's so good. And then, of course, you know, I'm kind of partial to cupcakes, so we can dip some
course.
cupcakes in. And I brought a little surprise since I wasn't here on Spencer's birthday last month. I brought bacon. Because if you've never had bacon dipped in chocolate, you haven't lived. You don't know what you're missing.
No. So Spencer will, I'm sure, come over here momentarily. However, Spencer has something else to be talking about. But also, Lori, really quickly before we let you go, all of this can be found on your website,
right?
wickedwhisk.com.
Right.
The recipes and how to do this, because it's so simple, so easy, and what a great way to celebrate Valentine's Day.
It is. It's very romantic.
Thanks, Lori. We